Hi everyone, Dr. Mark here, and today I want to talk to you about food allergies and how you can make up a balanced food at home to help your dog suffering from food allergies. You can suspect a food allergy when your dog has the symptoms of a food allergy. They can include ear infections that may clear up but always come back, hair loss and skin infections, licking the feet all the time and scratching the face and head. Some dogs also have GI signs like weight loss, loose stools, vomiting more than normal, and a lack of energy. It is even possible to see some dogs act more aggressively when allergic to food. It can be very difficult to tell if your dog has a food allergy or an inhalant allergy. Unfortunately, there is no blood test to tell you which foods your dog is allergic to. The tests measure IgE, a type of antibody, in the blood. Even if it's high, there's no correlation with an allergic disease. The only way to find out if your dog is allergic to any specific foods is by performing an elimination diet in which he is no longer exposed to those foods. The blood test is only about 15% accurate, so it may be helpful in some cases, but it's certainly not enough to decide your dog has food allergies. On an elimination diet, you refrain from giving your dog specific foods for a period of time to see if his symptoms go away. Beef is the most common allergen, but anything he has eaten in the past, like chicken, dairy, lamb, soy, and peas, has to be removed during the trial. There are some other things like pork, fish, and eggs that dogs rarely become allergic to, but I usually recommend duck as most dogs have never eaten this meat. The amount of time that your dog will take to stop having any clinical signs will vary, but a food allergy elimination diet usually takes from 3 weeks to 3 months before it clears up completely. If you want to find out if food, and not just the grass, is the problem, you will need to put him on a diet that does not contain the proteins he has been exposed to in the past. There are several options if you want to put your dog on an elimination diet. Hydrolyzed commercial diet. This processed diet contains proteins that are broken down so as to not trigger allergies. They are probably similar to the diet you have been giving him, but about 30% of them end up being contaminated by other protein sources from the factory. Another study found that 40% of the dogs fed one hydrolyzed diet with an ingredient they were allergic to developed itching and other problems. They are relatively expensive and most of my clients cannot afford them. I do not recommend these diets, but they are convenient like all processed foods and work in some cases. Minimally processed diet with a novel protein. These diets are available from several sources on the internet and are an alternative if you do not have time to make food at home. You would need to order a food with duck, kangaroo, or some other protein he has never had. There is no data on how many are contaminated with other protein sources. Homemade whole food with a novel protein. Making food at home is the only way to be 100% sure of the protein source. It is more work than purchasing dry dog food. Since an elimination diet only needs to be given for a limited time, it is not as important that it be as balanced as a permanent diet. Once the signs are gone with the elimination diet, you can add back his normal food and see if the signs come back or just continue with the homemade whole food diet that helped clear up the signs. If you are going to maintain any food for a long time, you must ensure the diet is nutritionally complete. A healthy whole food diet should contain about 10% raw bones. Raw chicken bones are safe to swallow and are easily digestible, so you can give necks, carcasses, and wings. If your dog is allergic to chicken and you do not have a source of other bones, you can add the same volume by adding eggshells to his diet. If you do not eat enough eggs, you can buy these through the internet. If you prefer to cook your dog's food instead of giving raw, do not cook the bones and use eggshells as the calcium source. About 50 to 65% meat. After the elimination diet is finished, you can continue using the same meat source or introduce alternatives one at a time to see if he starts itching again. I usually use beef sources since they are inexpensive, but you can use any type of meat he is not allergic to. If your dog is not allergic to chicken, you can purchase legs and wings on sale and give those to meet the bone and meat parts of the diet. About 10% organ meats. Some organ meats are important to add vitamins and minerals. If your dog is allergic to beef, you can feed chicken. You can provide the organs and bones at the same time by giving carcasses. About 10 to 25% vegetables, summer squash and pumpkins are great fiber sources, but you can also add other vegetables like carrots. Be sure to blend them in water so they will be bioavailable to your dog. If the meat portion of this diet is too expensive, you can add whole grains to bulk up the diet, but do not add more than about a fourth of your dog's food from the vegetable category. Eggs. An egg contains many of the essential vitamins that may be deficient in the rest of the diet, so I add an egg, including the shell, several times a week. There are no scientific objections to using more egg protein in the diet. If meat is relatively expensive compared to eggs where you live, you can substitute more of the meat portion of the diet with eggs. Some veterinary nutritionists feel that the egg white has more protein availability if cooked slightly, but the yolk should be raw so the vitamins are not destroyed. Poached or soft-boiled eggs are the best solutions for that problem. Fruit. Most dogs enjoy the sweet taste of fruits, but do not give more than about 5% of the diet with these foods. Any of the berries that are on sale will provide a good source of vitamins and antioxidants for your dog. Fish. Dogs do much better, skin and joint health, if they are given an omega-3 source in their diet. You can use canned sardines or a fresh fish like mackerel or salmon, but if your dog is allergic to fish, you will need to give a fish oil supplement. You can find salmon oil on Amazon. Supplements. Besides the omega-3 fatty acid supplement for dogs who cannot eat fish, dogs who are allergic to eggs will need a multivitamin supplement. If your dog is not allergic to eggs, he will not need supplements. The numbers above do not have to be exact but should be used as a general guideline to make up your dog's food. You can vary the amounts a bit each week, depending on the foods on sale, but try to keep the volumes roughly around those percentages I suggest here. This food will be better than the kibble you used to give, and you can vary the protein source based on what you find out he is allergic to. If you want to contact me about the diet you are using, feel free to leave a comment.
Thanks for watching. If you want to learn more about this, you can read my articles at pethelpful.com or go to my Ask a Vet column at that site. If you found this information helpful, please like this video, and if you want to learn more health information for your dog, you can subscribe.